Dear students, welcome back to the class. We were discussing this chapter of organic chemistry, that is carboxylic acids and its derivatives. In the previous class, we have seen the carboxylic acids, their nomenclature, and we have also seen the aliphatic carboxylic acid preparations. In the today's class, let us see aromatic carboxylic acid preparations and few chemical properties. Okay. So we have already discussed this one. Okay, we are here. In today's class, let us discuss the preparation of aromatic carboxylic acids. Uh, Aromatic carboxylic acid can be directly prepared from uh, alkyl uh, arenes by the oxidation of side chain of arenes. The alkyl groups which are attached to the aromatic ring can be directly converted to carboxylic acid functional group by adding strong oxidizing agents such as potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, or by adding dilute nitric acid. You can choose any of these reagents. They can convert this side chain, that is the alkyl group that is directly attached to the this benzene ring to carboxylic acid. Whatever is the chain length, it doesn't matter. It directly converts the carboxylic acid to it directly converts the whole chain into carboxylic acid functional groups. Here, suppose in this example, the side chain is isopropyl benzene. It is also known as cumene. If you add KMnO4 or any of these reagents like potassium permanganate or potassium dichromate or nitric acid, the whole this chain will get converted to carboxylic acid. And there is no specific selectivity uh, with this reagent. It will convert all the alkyl groups that is attached to the benzene ring directly to carboxylic acid functional group. Whatever is a chain length, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll show it. I'll show a few more examples here. Let us write few more examples using this. Suppose there is a big chain length. The whole this chain length can be converted to carboxylic acid group simply by the addition of what? By the addition of KMnO4 or any of this reagent. You can add any of the reagents like KMnO4 or you can choose any reagent. So when you add KMnO4, what will happen? The whole this chain will get converted to carboxylic acid. Means this. Here, this whole side chain will get converted to this carboxylic acid functional group. Okay, this is the speciality of this reaction. There is no selectivity. Suppose one more group is here, for example, one more methyl group is there here, and one more methyl group is here. These groups, all the substituents which are attached to this benzene ring will get converted to carboxylic acids. Here, this methyl will also get converted to carboxylic acid, and this methyl also gets converted to carboxylic acids. Okay, this is the speciality of this reaction, but there is no selectivity. This will not identify the difference between these alkyl groups. It directly converts all the alkyl groups, whatever attached to the benzene ring, directly to the carboxylic acids. Okay, this is known as oxidation. Oxidation. Okay. Now let us see few physical properties of carboxylic acids. Uh, like other water molecules or alcohol molecules, there is a hydrogen bonding between the molecules of carboxylic acids. If you see the water molecule or hydrogen molecule, you will see a hydrogen bonding because of this OH group. You will see a intermolecular hydrogen bonding between these molecules. Between these molecules, intermolecular hydrogen bonding between these molecules. Similar type of hydrogen bonding can be seen in carboxylic acid, but there is a special case here because of the presence of CO group here and also OH group. Carboxylic acids show association between the molecules. Association means they associate, they form dimers because of the presence of C double bond O group. In addition to this OH group, they because of the presence of this group, in addition to the OH group, they associate in the solution and exist as dimer like this. See here, this is possible when there is hydrogen bonding between the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Two hydrogen bonds are possible between two molecules. For suppose see, we have taken this one molecule and this is another molecule. So because of the presence of this CO, this oxygen, it will form a hydrogen bond with one of the OH of other molecule. Similarly, OH of this molecule will form a hydrogen bond of this molecule with CO, oxygen of this molecule. What is the necessary condition for the hydrogen bonding? There should be an electronegative atom and there should be hydrogen. This hydrogen should be attached to the electronegative atom. Then only it will get a positive charge and it will get a negative charge. The difference in the polarity gives the difference in the polarity uh, gives the electrostatic attraction between these. So we have two such type of conditions here. One is between this CO and OH of one molecule and OH of this molecule with CO of other molecule. You can see here. You can see here. See, oxygen is negative, electronegative, therefore partial negative charge is shown here. Since hydrogen is attached to electronegative atom, electrons are pulled towards this oxygen, therefore it will get a partial positive charge. Because of this polarity difference in the polarity, there will be electrostatic interaction between these two. Similar type of electrostatic interaction can be seen here between these two because there is one more C double bond O group in one molecule and OH in another molecule. Therefore we can see two hydrogen bonds between the two molecules of carboxylic acids. Because of these two hydrogen bonds, you can see here it is forming a circle here. You can see here, this is hydrogen bond, this is one hydrogen bond. Here we have indicated with the dotted lines indicates the hydrogen bonding or electrostatic attractions. Because of this hydrogen bonding, you can see this is forming a circle. This circle is known as cyclic dimer. This is known as cyclic dimer because dimer is forming with the two molecules of carboxylic acid and this is cyclic. Therefore, it is known as cyclic dimer and this is known as association. So this is known as association. Therefore, carboxylic acids exist as cyclic dimers and also as associated molecules. Whereas if you see alcohols or water, how do you write the hydrogen bonding in alcohols? I'll write here. So we have taken oxygen. So what is the other atom I have to write here? I have to write the hydrogen of alcohol. So R I have to write here. So this is the hydrogen bonding. So we can say only one hydrogen bonding is possible between the molecules of alcohols or water. But we can see two hydrogen bonds within these molecules of carboxylic acids. This we can see this association and dimeric forms in the boiling points, in the difference in the boiling points of alcohols and carboxylic acids. Okay, let us see here. So carboxylic acids exist as cyclic dimers, or we can also say this as associated molecules. Associated molecules. Okay. Now we can see that in the boiling points we can see that difference, because alcohols there is no such association possible in alcohols, but it is possible acetic acid. We can see that difference in the boiling point. Suppose whenever you compare a boiling point, what we have to keep in mind is you have to compare the molecules of same molecular weight. Suppose I am taking acetic acid, the molecular weight of acetic acid is 60. So what I have to take here, which alcohol I have to take? I have to choose alcohol which is having a 60 molecular weight. So then only I can compare the boiling point. Molecular weight should be same. Then only we can compare the boiling point. For molecular weight 60, I have to choose N-propyl alcohol. Any isopropyl alcohol is also fine. So here we have given the example of N-propyl alcohol. So when we compare the boiling points of acetic acid and N-propyl alcohol, we can see the boiling point of acetic acid CH3COOH is 118, whereas the boiling point of this N-propyl alcohol is 97. There is a lot of difference here. Whose boiling point is more? Acetic acid boiling point is higher than N-propyl alcohol boiling point. Why this is higher than alcohol? Because of association or because of two hydrogen bonds, it is difficult to separate these molecules. More energy is required for to separate these molecules of carboxylic acids, because there are two hydrogen bonds between two molecules, whereas in alcohols we can see only one hydrogen bond. Therefore less energy is required when compared to carboxylic acid to uh, separate them or to boil off. Okay. Now let us see another example. Propionic acid, molecular weight is 74. With this molecular weight, this alcohol is possible, that is butyl alcohol. So boiling point of propionic acid is 141, whereas the boiling point of butyl alcohol is 118. See the difference here. One more example is butyric acid, boiling point is 164, and N-pentyl alcohol with the same molecular weight as that of butyric acid is uh, its boiling point is 138. See the difference here. The difference in the boiling points is due to the cyclic existence of cyclic uh, dimers of these carboxylic acids. Okay, this is about the boiling points and dimerization or hydrogen bonding in carboxylic acids. This is very important. You have to all remember this one. Now let us see the acidic strengths of carboxylic acids. Okay. Acidic strength. We all know that carboxylic acids, the name itself indicates it is a carboxylic acid. The name itself indicates that it is an acid, carboxylic acid. Since it is an acid, we are calling it as a carboxylic acid. So when a molecule behaves as an acid, when it gives away a proton, so Lewis acid, what are the Lewis acids? Which donates a proton. Okay. Similar to Lewis acid, this is also a Lewis acid which it can donate a proton. That's why it's a acid. Okay. So we have to see whether it can easily, it's a good, in order to judge whether it's a good acid or a poor acid, we have to see its uh, equilibrium. Suppose if it's a good acid, it has to lose this proton very easily and form this base. When it loses this proton very easily, when the stability of this base which is formed from the acid but the loss of this proton is more than this molecule, then the acidity will be more. Okay, when the stability of this is higher than this one, then this molecule will try to exist in this form by losing a proton. So if the stability is higher, then the acidity of this carboxylic acid will be high. Okay, so now let us see how that is possible. Now let us consider the carboxylic acid resonance structures first. If I think you all know how to write the resonance structures. You have already studied in the previous first year class. So let us see again. So this is a carboxylic acid R C double bond O OH. In order to write the resonance structures, what you have to do is you have to shift these electrons here. Electrons on the oxygen, lone pair of electrons you have to shift here. When you shift this electron here, what will happen? A double bond is created here. See, a double bond is created here. And since you are moving away these electrons from the oxygen, it will get a positive charge. It will get a positive charge because you are moving away, taking these electrons in between carbon and oxygen. That's why it will get a partial, it will get a positive charge. So when you move these electrons here, already 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds are there. One more bond means 5 bonds. That is not possible. In order to satisfy the valency, these electrons, this pi bond has to be shifted. Pi bonded electrons has to be shifted on this onto this oxygen. So electron density on the oxygen increases. That's why we are showing this with a negative charge, and one more electron pair it is getting from this bonded pair is shifting here. So one more electron pair we are showing here. So we know that on oxygen 2 electron pair will be there. So one more electron is shifting here. So 3 electron pairs, 1, 2, 3. And since electron density is higher than in the ground state, it will get a negative charge. Whereas here in the oxygen will have a 2 lone pair of electrons. One pair is shifted here. So there is a loss of 2 electrons. So that is we are showing with a positive charge. So this is the resonance structure. This is the resonance structure of carboxylic acid. If you closely observe this resonance structure, the oxygen is a negative charge here, whereas one oxygen is a positive charge. There is a charge separation. What is that? There is a charge separation. See here. This is very important term. Charge separation. This is known as charge separation. Always there is a whenever there is a charge separation, that resonance structure is less stable. That resonance structure is less stable. Now let us see the resonance structures of carboxylate ion. The carboxylate ion, when it forms, when it donates this hydrogen, this carboxylate ion will be formed. If this is more stable than this, it means it can easily donate hydrogen and it always try to exist in this form. So let us see that. Now carboxylate ion, how do you write? After donating H plus ion, H is removed without electrons. So this bonded pair of electrons will be with the oxygen itself. So already 2 electron pairs are there, and one more electron pair that was initially in between oxygen hydrogen, because this is leaving without electrons. These bonded electrons will be with the oxygen itself. So oxygen will now have already 2 pairs will be there on the oxygen, one more pair from this bonded electron. So 1, 2, 3. That's why we are showing the negative charge here. Okay, this is a carboxylate ion. Okay, so when you how to write the resonance structures? By shifting these electrons. When you shift these electrons here, means the negative charge is distributed here. When you are shifting electrons here, means it will getting double bond here. See here, double bond. So electron density is balancing here. When you shift these electrons here to satisfy the valency on this carbon, these pi electrons, one of the bonded electrons, has to be shifted onto the oxygen. Oxygen, there is 2 lone pairs, and electron density is increasing by the shift of this bonded pair of electrons onto this oxygen. That's why it is getting a negative charge. See here. So these are the resonance structures of carboxylate. If you observe these resonance structures, is there any charge separation like this? Here you can observe the charge separation. There is a negative charge, there is a positive charge. Whereas here you can see only negative charge, and that is shifting between this oxygen and this oxygen. Here it is present in this oxygen. When you write the resonance structure, this negative charge has shifted to the other oxygen here. See here. Means this negative charge, it is distributed between this oxygen and this oxygen here. In one resonance structure it is present here, in the other resonance structure it is present here. Means negative charge is distributed between these two oxygens. Whenever you write the resonance structures, you always remember, whenever there is a charge separation, those resonance structures are less stable. Whenever there is a charge distribution, those resonance structures are stable. This is charge separation, this is charge distribution. Now tell me where the equilibrium shifts now. Which one is stable among these two? This carboxylate is stable. Therefore, always the equilibrium will tend to shift on the right side. Means this carboxylic acid will always try to exist in the carboxylate by donating a proton here. Since it is easily donating proton, it means this is a very good acid. Okay, but not very good as a HCl, HNO3, but very good among all the acids in organic chemistry. This is very good. What are the acids in organic chemistry? Phenols and carboxylic acids. Phenol, it is very good acid than this better acid than carboxylic acid. Sorry, it is a strong acid than phenols. Let us see the phenols also. Why it is stronger than phenol? Let us see the reason also. So if you see this equation here, this is alcohol. What is an acid? Which donates a proton here. So after releasing a proton, so it will get a negative charge, oxygen. Can you write a resonance structure for this? No, you cannot write a resonance structure. Moreover, if you see this structure here, what is alkyl group? This is the electron donating group. I think you remember we have already you have already studied this in your first year. Electron donating or electron releasing group and electron withdrawing groups. What are electron withdrawing groups? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Electron releasing group are all alkyl groups are electron releasing. They push electrons. So already there is a negative charge. Again, because of this electron releasing group, this is releasing electrons towards the oxygen. That means there is electron repulsion. This makes this unstable. So it will try to exist in this form only. Therefore, equilibrium is shifted more towards the left side. So it is a weak acid. Whereas if you see this in the phenols here, if you see the phenols, phenol is a good acid because these are the resonance structures of phenol and these are the resonance structures of phenoxide that is formed after the loss of this proton. If you closely observe this structure here, there is a positive charge here and a negative charge on the carbon here. Means there is a charge separation. Means they are less stable. If you these structures here, only one charge is there, that is a negative charge, and that is distributed among oxygen and carbons. Means only one charge is there, therefore this is stable. Therefore phenol tries to exist in the phenoxide by losing a proton. Therefore phenol is a good acid when compared to alcohol. Now we are saying that it is a good acid but not as good as carboxylic acid. Let us see the reason. We have already seen this let us compare again. We have already seen the resonance structures of carboxylic acid. See, these are the resonance structures of carboxylic acids. Okay. If you closely observe this, negative charge is only on the oxygen. Negative charge is only on the oxygen, and that is bit distributed between these two oxygens. What is oxygen? It is electronegative or electropositive. It is electronegative. So negative charge on the electronegative atom is stable. But if you see this phenoxide ions here, you can see the negative charge is a oxygen and also more negative charge is on the carbons here. Here it is carbon. Here also negative charge. Here also there is a negative charge. You already know. I'm not explaining the how to write these resonance structures because you already learned these in your first year. So I'm directly explaining this one. If you see these structures, there is a negative charge on the carbon here. What is a carbon? Is it electropositive or electronegative? It is a electropositive element. Therefore, negative charge on electropositive element is not stable. It's not that much stable. But here, negative charge is on the oxygen. Negative charge is on the oxygen. Moreover, if you compare the resonance structures here, how many resonance structures are there? 4. Here only 2. even though resonance structures are more, this is not stable like that of carboxylate. Carboxylate ion is more stable. Even only two resonance structures are there. Because of this reason, negative charge is on the oxygen atom. Here negative charge is distributed among the carbons. That is, carbon is less electronegative. Therefore, these are the reasons. Therefore, carboxylic acid tries to give away proton very easily, forming this carboxylate ion. So, the tendency to lose a proton of carboxylic acid is very high when compared to phenols. Therefore, when you compare the acidity of carboxylic acid and phenol, we can see that carboxylic acids are very good acids when compared to phenol, and these are very good acids when compared to ethanol. This is the pKa values you can see here. Lower the pK, greater is the acidity. pK is 4.8, here pK is 10, here 16. Alcohols very weak acids. They are nearly, the pKa value is nearly equal to water. So if you see the pK values of this carboxylic acid and the phenol, you can see here it is less in the case of carboxylic acid 4.8, here 10. Almost there is a half difference here. Half means it is more acidic. This is the order of increasing acidity. So what is the reason for its higher acidic strength? The reason is presence of equivalent structures. See here, both are equivalent structures here. Whereas if you see these resonance structures here, here negative charge is on the oxygen. Here in this case, negative charge is on the carbon. The structures are not equivalent. And negative charge is shared by two electronegative oxygen atoms in phenoxide ions. Here, 1 and 2. Remaining all carbon atoms are sharing the negative charge. Okay. These two are the reasons. Now let us compare we have compared the acidity of carboxylic acid with phenol. Now let us compare the acidity of this aliphatic and aromatic also, and also we will study the effect of substituents, how they affect the acidic strength of carboxylic acid. Okay. So effect of substituents on the acidity of carboxylic acid. So let me erase this one first. You already know what are the electron withdrawing groups. These are the you have to remember this, fluoro, chloro, nitro, cyano. Okay, these are electron withdrawing groups. What is electron donating? Alkyl groups. All alkyl groups, generally we denote with R. What are the alkyl groups? Methyl, ethyl, all alkyl groups. These give minus I effect, and this show plus I effect. I think you can recollect now with this term. Minus I effect means minus negative inductive effect, positive inductive effect. Inductive effect means shifting of electrons or displacement of electrons, displacement of bonded pair of electrons depending on the nature of the substituent. If the substituent is electron withdrawing like this, it is a minus effect. The electrons are pulled towards this. See here, this is a X is a electron withdrawing group. This is fluoro, chloro, bromo, iodo. This is more electronegative than carbon. Therefore, the electron density between these the bonded electron pair is shifted towards this uh, electron withdrawing group. It pulls the electron density away. So thereby they stabilize this negative charge that is present on the carboxylate ion. Whereas if alkyl group is there, what is this? Electron releasing group. It releases, see the aroma here, the electron density is shifting towards carbon here. See, towards carbon. Here the electron density is shifting away from carbon here. It is shifting away from carbon. Here electron density, since the alkyl group is electron releasing group, it is shifting electron density towards carbon, and thereby the electron density on this oxygen increases. Already there is a negative charge Again, release of electrons, this destabilizes this carboxylate ion. Okay. So whenever such groups are there, like alkyl groups, the acidity will decrease. Whenever electron withdrawing groups are there, by pulling electrons, they are stabilizing the negative charge. Therefore, the acidity increases the acidity. Increases the acidity. You have to remember, whenever there is electron withdrawing group, they increase the acidity. Whenever there is a alkyl group, that is electron releasing group, they decrease the acidity. Okay. Now, let us take few examples to discuss this in a. Let us see this example here. There, how many are the? Which group is this? Chloride. What is the substituent here? Chloro. Chloro means electronegative. Electron withdrawing. How many electron withdrawing groups are there? 1, 2, 3. The arrow mark is written wrongly here. This should be like this. Okay. Okay. So because of this electron withdrawing, the see here, the arrow mark is towards the this carbon. Since this carbon is attached to 3 electronegative atoms, they are pulling electron density towards this carbon. Okay, see here, the electron density is shifting towards this electronegative atom. Therefore, they can lose this proton. It can lose this proton very easily as H plus, because the carboxylate ion that is formed after losing this, the negative charge here is stabilized by this electron withdrawing group by minus I effect. Okay. Whereas if you see, are there any electron releasing group or electron donating groups? There is no electron donating or electron releasing. It is normal. Now let us see here. There is one electron releasing group. What is that? Methyl. What is the job of methyl? It will push the bonded pair of electrons towards this. So when a proton is donated, the carboxylate ion which is formed here, it is destabilized because already there is a negative charge and it is pushing the electrons here. More repulsion will be there, therefore it will destabilize this. Is there any destabilization like this here in this case? No, there is no destabilization. Therefore this is more acidic than this. If you see here, how many electron releasing group? 1, 2, 3. 3 methyl groups are there. Means these 3 are plus I groups. They release electrons and destabilize the carboxylate ion that will be formed after donating the proton. Therefore, this is a very weak. It cannot lose the proton very easily because carboxylate ion formed will be destabilized because of the presence of these 3 methyl groups. Here also, it will not lose this proton very easily because the methyl group will destabilize the carboxylate ion that will be formed after donating the proton. Whereas if you see, there is no such electron releasing group here. Therefore, it can lose this proton easily when compared to these two, acetic acid and trimethyl acetic acid. And let us see this one. There are 3 electron withdrawing groups. Means when the carboxylate ion is formed by donating proton is very much stabilized. Therefore, it will try to donate a proton very easily. So, trichloroacetic acid is more acidic compared to formic acid. This is more acidic compared to acetic acid. This is more acidic than compared to trimethyl acetic acid. Now, let us see the case when there are more than one electron withdrawing group. As the number of electron withdrawing group increases on the as the substituents, their acidity also increases. Here, how many electron withdrawing groups are there? 1, 2, 3. Here, 1 and 2. There are 3 electron withdrawing groups. They will stabilize this carboxylate ion. Therefore, this proton can be eliminated very easily. There are 2 electron withdrawing groups. It will also eliminate this proton easily, but not as easy as this one. There is one electron withdrawing group here, 1. Here, 2. Here, 3. Here, there is no electron withdrawing group. Okay. Okay. So when we compare the acidity as the electron withdrawing group increases, the acidity increases because the carboxylate ion that will be formed after donating a proton will be more stable as the number of electron withdrawing substituents increases. Therefore, trichloroacetic acid is more acidic than dichloroacetic acid. This is more acidic than chloroacetic acid. This is more acidic than normal simple acetic acid. Okay. Now let us see when there are different electronegative substituents attached to the carbon. Uh, Let us see the acidity. Suppose fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are the substituents which are present. So we all know the electronegativity. What is the electronegativity order? First is fluorine. Fluorine is more electronegative than chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. So since the electronegativity increases, therefore the acidity also increases. If fluorine is there, it is more acidic than chlorine, and then bromine, then iodine. So whenever this substituent is there, like fluorine, it is more acidic. Okay, then this chloro substituent, then bromo substituent, then iodine, because fluorine is more electronegative. It can pull very strongly the electrons between these two. Then the chlorine can pull electrons more strongly than bromine can pull electrons more strongly than iodine. The reason is electronegativity. Now let us see the acidity between aromatic and aliphatic. Till now we have discussed the acidities of aliphatic carboxylic acids. Now let us see, this is aromatic carboxylic acid because there is a benzene ring. This is aliphatic because there is alkyl group. Alkyl group. Okay. Now let us see which one is more acidic between these two. If you see this group, there is a alkyl group. Means what is this group? This is electron releasing group. Means it will show plus I effect. Which effect? Plus I effect means it will increase the electron density on this one. So once the proton is lost, a carboxylate ion is formed, and this methyl group, by releasing electrons, it will destabilize the carboxylate ion form. Whereas if you see this one, this is sp3 carbon here. Whereas if you see this one, this is a double bonded carbon here. The carbon to which this carboxylic acid is attached is sp2 hybridized because it is double bonded. Now, can you tell me which one is more electronegative between sp2 and sp3? Between sp2 and sp3, which one is more electronegative? sp2 is more electronegative because if you see here, the S character, if you see this, the S character here in sp2 is 33%. In sp3 it is, sorry, in yes, in sp2 it is 33%, whereas in sp3 it is 25%. In which case S character is more in sp2. As S character increases, electronegativity also increases. Means sp2 carbon is more electronegative than sp3 carbon. So sp2, this carbon is more electronegative means what? Electron are pulled away from this carbon, whereas here electrons are released. Okay, therefore if you compare the acidity, this one is benzoic acid is more acidic than acetic acid. Okay, these are the relative difference in acidities of between various aliphatic carboxylic acids and aromatic and aliphatic carboxylic acid. Okay, first let me erase this one. So this acidic strength is very important in the competitive exams. They will give different substituents and they'll ask you the order of acidity. So you have to choose the correct answer. Okay, this is very important in the competitive exams. Okay, now let us see the other topic, that is chemical properties. So basically chemical properties of carboxylic acids. If you see the chemical properties of carboxylic acids, They are basically the reactions we will study three types of reactions here. One is by involving only hydrogen atom, okay, and the other one is by involving the OH atom, and the other one is by involving the whole group, that is COOH group. Let us see the first case, that is by involving only the reactions which involve only hydrogen, only this hydrogen, okay, only this hydrogen is affected. Let us see those reactions. uh, Only there are two types of reactions that are possible that involve this hydrogen. One is by reaction of carboxylic acid with metals like magnesium, calcium, zinc. When the carboxylic acids are treated with metals, the hydrogen gas is liberated here, see here, and that salt is formed here. Hydrogen gas is liberated. In addition to this, a salt is formed here. So, and there is one more reaction where this hydrogen is involved. That is the reaction when carboxylic acid is reacted with hydroxides like NaOH, carbonates like Na2CO3, and bicarbonates like NaHCO3. Whenever a carboxylic acid is allowed to react with hydroxides, the sodium acetate, sodium salt is formed. Here, see here. Sodium salt is formed in all these cases. Whenever carboxylic acid is allowed to react with sodium hydroxide, sodium carbonate, and sodium bicarbonate. In all these cases, if you see here, this sodium carbonate, this is sodium bicarbonate. In all these cases, there is a formation of sodium salt, CH3. This is a salt because this is anionic in nature. The bond between these two is anionic nature. This hydrogen is replaced with sodium metal, okay, in all these cases, and form a salts because this is not a pure covalent bond between this metal and this oxygen, okay. CH3COO minus Na plus, C6H5 COO minus Na plus, okay, these are the salts. But if you see here, when the carboxylic acid reacts with NaOH, only water is formed here. If you see here, in this case, sodium carbonate, when a carboxylic acid reacts with sodium carbonate, in addition to the sodium salt and water, carbon dioxide gas is liberated. Similarly, here also, in sodium bicarbonate also, when you add sodium bicarbonate to carboxylic acids, here also, in this case also, carbon dioxide gas is released. So, when you do this reaction, you will observe this release of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide means bubbles, na gas. You will observe the bubbles in the reaction. After the reaction is done, you will observe bubbles. That bubble formation of bubble is known as effervescence. Effervescence. And this reaction, these two reactions are used as uh, identification test for the functional group of this test for the existence of this functional group, that is carboxylic acid functional group, that is COH. To know, to see whether this group is there or not in a given mixture, you will add this sodium bicarbonate. If you observe these bubbles in the test tube, bubbles means what? Effervescence. You will say that yes, that is a, there is a this functional group, that is COOH functional group, okay. Now this is about the reactions involving hydrogen of carboxylic acids, okay. So the hydrogen can be involved in a reaction by adding magnesium, these metals replace this hydrogen, or the hydrogen can be replaced by adding this sodium hydroxide, sodium carbonate, or sodium bicarbonate, okay. So in all these, if you see this, all these are salts. This is a uh, all these are metal salts here, see here, this is also a salt, this is minus, this is plus. Now let us see the reactions which involve OH group. Okay, OH group, this group. Which one? Now let us see the reactions which involve the OH group of carboxylic acid, means this group. Okay, this group, OH group. This group, see here. In the previous slides, we have seen the reactions which involve only hydrogen. Now, in this, let us see now the reactions involve only this OH group. Okay, this OH group of carboxylic acid, this group. Okay. Okay, there are two basically there is anhydride formation, there is an acid halide formation. Anhydride formation means when two molecules of the carboxylic acid reacts in the presence of P2O5, and if you have to heat this also. So what happens is there is a loss of water molecule here. See here, hydrogen from one molecule and OH from other molecule. This is eliminated as H2, two hydrogens and one oxygen, H2O, water, and there is a bond formation between this C double bond O group and oxygen here. See this C double bond O, oxygen, C double bond O. This is known as anhydride bond. Okay, this is a anhydride bond. Okay, and this is, since this is formed from the two molecules of acetic acid, this is known as acetic anhydride. And similar type of anhydride can be formed. Let us see, I'll take another example, by adding benzoic acid, or you can add two molecules of the same acid, or you can also use this one acid halide also of the acid halide, the derivative of the same acid which you are choosing the acid. If you are choosing benzoic acid, you have to choose the same acid halide which is derived from this, okay, acid, like benzoyl chloride. If you are using acetyl chloride, then if you are using acetic acid, then you have to use acetyl chloride. So when you add these two in the presence of acid, this hydrogen and this Cl will be eliminated as HCl, and there is a new bond formation within this oxygen and this carbon. Okay, C6H5COO, C double bond. This is an anhydride bond. See here, this is an anhydride, C double bond O, oxygen, C double bond O. Okay, this is about anhydride formation. Now let us see acid halide formation. Acid halide, I think you all know. We have already seen the nomenclature. This is by replacing. See here, there is a replacement of this group. OH group is lost here. Here also, OH group is lost here. Okay, since there is a OH group is involved in the reaction, this comes under reactions involving OH group. Now let us see, this OH group can be replaced with halide group, that is X here, by adding these reagents. You have, this is very important, you have to remember this one. This is very important reaction. Okay, this OH group can be converted to halide group by adding any of these reagents, that is phosphorus pentahalide, phosphorus trihalide, or this one SOCl to thionyl chloride. Or so for example, this acetic acid, in order to convert this acetic acid to acetyl chloride, can add any of these reagents, PCl3, PCl5, SOCl2. Any of these reagents can convert this OH group to Cl group. Okay, these are the addition products. Okay, these are the addition products. So these are the reactions involving OH group. Now we have, so basically we will be studying three types of reactions. One is reactions involving only hydrogen. We have seen reactions involving OH, and in another case we will be seeing reactions which involve this whole functional group. Okay, whole functional group. There is one more reaction, that is ester formation here. I think we can stop here and we can discuss this in the next class. So dear students, thank you for listening to this class. In the next class we will discuss the esterification. That is a very important one, so it will take time. In the next class we can discuss this. Thank you one and all.